Hey guys, Troubletcat here. You're watching Meet the Weapon, and today we're talking about the RPK-74M. Very first thing though, here it is with the bipod, no other attachments by the way. Very first thing though, I want to apologize because there's no game sound in this video. I fudged up the recording, and as a result, it will only be the sound of my voice. It's only my second time recording a video with this new software, so hopefully you guys will forgive me this time. Hopefully. Anyway, before we get into talking about the weapon in the game, of course we will talk about this gun in real life. The RPK, which stands for Kalashnikov Handheld Machine Gun, in Russian, of course, was developed in the late 50s alongside the AKM as a replacement for the RPD light machine gun. It's been in use with the Russian Army since 1961. Essentially, the function of the RPK was exactly the same as the AKM. Predictably, the RPK-74M, which is what we're using here, is based off the AK-74M, the current standard service rifle of the Russian Army, and the second weapon I covered in this series, if you recall. So for more detail on this weapon, check out the first AK-74M video. But the main differences between the RPK-74M and the AK-74M are a longer and heavier barrel in this weapon, a folding bipod, and these are normally issued with a 45-round box magazine as opposed to the 30-round magazines that are more standard with the AK-74M, although they're actually interchangeable. It's the same receiver. And the same round. Drum magazines, which were used on the older versions of the RPK, were tested during development but eventually dropped for this weapon. I mean, you can get them, but they were discontinued from production. So the weapon fires the same. This fucking guy in front of me, he is not bound by our pedestrian laws of physics. His planet needs him. Anyway, this weapon fires the same 5.45 by 39mm ammo used in the AK-74M at around 650 rounds per minute, which again is the same as the AK-74M. Due to the long barrel, muzzle velocity is slightly higher, but only slightly. Most of the differences between the RPK and the 74M and the AK-74M are essentially intended to make this weapon a bit easier to use for sustained suppressing fire in line with the rule of the squads. Support gunner makes sense, so it's basically a long, heavy-barreled version of the AK-74M. Do I like this gun in the game? Well, actually, yes, very much so. I probably prefer this slightly to the M27 IAR. I couldn't quite put my finger on why, really, but I do like this gun a lot. It's very, very versatile is how I feel about this weapon. It's quite good. You're going to see two different attachment loadouts, two very different attachment loadouts. It's quite good whether you're defending or attacking, because you can be very mobile with this if you are so inclined due to the high accuracy. And in fact, it's got good accuracy even while you're strafing and stuff like that. It stays nice and accurate. So it's got good accuracy while moving, which is always a nice bonus and makes it really good up front. And also, if you've got that bipod deployed, I mean, there's pretty much no recoil. Decent rate of fire. You can sort of hold down the trigger and take people out really, really easily. It's just a really nice, really versatile weapon that you can use in a few different roles and capacities, which I will be showing you in this video. And yeah, I really do enjoy using this gun. It's one of my favorite light machine guns. Actually, it's not my very favorite, but you know, it's good. Smaller magazines than most of them, but you know, much faster reload time as well, which balances that out and makes it quite nice to use. You can see here me, you know, not having any problems whatsoever, even with just the iron sights at sort of medium distance. I'm not a huge fan of the iron sights on this gun. They block a lot of vision, but it's not too bad, actually. Just kind of square. Cubular. Yeah, so it's a good weapon. Absolutely. Very, very versatile is how I would describe it in a word. It just has a lot of different ways you can make it useful. Or more so, it's got, you know, two main ways which cover the majority of situations you're going to face in the game quite adequately. Always super good. So in just a second here, or like 20 seconds, we're going to take a look at the first actual attachment setup for this gun that I used, which is kind of an aggressive loadout. I'm kind of hoping. Okay, I should have cut this down a little bit shorter, I guess. Very slightly. Still getting the hang of the timing, guys. Jeez, relax. Oh, right, because I actually did kill one more dude here. Perfect. All right. So this loadout we're looking at here, which is my sort of aggressive mobile loadout, PKS, hollow sight. You can use any close range sight, of course. Foregrip. And the laser sight I end up deciding on after a bit of deliberation. You can use the suppressor on this gun as well, it's not bad, but I like the laser sight for this additional hip fire accuracy, and you're going to see me getting quite a few hipfire kills. I got more kills in this game with this setup than I actually decided to show, but I figured this one life that was about 2 minutes long, well, once I cut out the part where I was just running to the fighting area, this sort of 2 minutes of being alive pretty much covered why this loadout is awesome. You're actually really, really mobile. It's basically an assault rifle with a bigger magazine when you rock it out like this. It's really, really beautiful, and you can just sort of get in their faces, and teach them lessons they'd rather not learn, which isn't. It's not normally something you can do with a lot of the light machine guns, but the RPK actually lets you pull this off really, really well. I mean, I do get a bit lucky sometimes with my enemies not being so sharp, not being so on the ball. Of course, there was a slight M320 mishap I had there, but it's okay, guys. I may have just been a smear on the floor, but he defibrillated the stain, and now I'm fine. It's alright. I can keep owning. And then I did. Then I absolutely, absolutely did. So, you know, you can use your sights because you got those close-range sights. If you don't feel like it, you got your laser sight on there, so you've got decent hip-fire accuracy. Planting the bomb like a boss. It does end up going off. Very happy about that. Always a happy time when the bomb explodes, unless you're defending, I guess. But in this case, I was on the attacking team, so the bomb exploding was in fact my advantage. We actually ended up losing this game, and I considered showing this entire game because of that, but I figured, you know, it's not really in the topic of this video. But what happened was, we lost our momentum. You know you see how many of our teammates are in this area now, so we got that MCOM really easily. The enemy actually ended up pushing us out, and we lost all our momentum and ended up losing, which is something that can happen a lot in Rush, and I might make a video about specifically later, but I decided, you know, it doesn't quite fit in with Meet the Weapons, so we'll cut that out. But, you know, it's something to mention. So that was that loadout. This loadout, PSO, 4x scope, bipod, flash suppressor I ended up using. Now, I had a bit of trouble with this loadout. I got used to it eventually and found it to be pretty damn awesome in a lot of respects. But you might be better off not using the flash suppressor. It's really, it's kind of a derp of an attachment. It does help you stay undetected. I mean, the theory was I'd mostly be not right up in the enemy's grill with this, so if I had that flash suppressor right up in there, did I really say that? That's not an expression I normally use. Well, I did this time! Anyway, the theory was the flash suppressor would make it a bit harder for them to pick up where I was firing from if I was firing from a dark area or a concealed position. However, the fact that it sort of hurts your full auto fire means it really hurts one of the main aspects of this gun, which is the low recoil, which makes it so you can pretty much just hold down the trigger, but you can't do that with a flash suppressor because your bullets just fly wildly all over the place. So I think that was a bad choice, leaving the enemies a little surprise gift here. I think that did end up killing somebody. And then stealing their helicopter like a boss. Always good to do some asset theft, you know. All the bosses taking the enemy helicopters, denying them their resources, and then, you know, I gotta get down fast to the objectives, like real fast, like maybe a little bit too fast, like you might want to pull up TTC. You're not gonna be able to pull up TTC. No! No, you can't pull up in time! Oh no. I couldn't quite pull up in time, guys. I got a little bit too excited, and there just was too much momentum. And gotta be careful about that. So anyway, yeah, I found this to be a nice loadout, but you might want to not use the flash suppressor, maybe just nothing in that attachment slot, or, you know, have a laser sight on here to help you out at close range would be not a bad option. You might consider a 3.4x sight instead of the 4x sight if you don't like the recoil in the 4x sight. But basically, what I'm trying to get at is you can set this gun up as, you know, first you saw me using it as a close range Russian gun with quite a bit of success. And I did end up, you know, getting the hang of this loadout eventually, and this is sort of more of a medium to long range defensive loadout, and it can fill both those roles, which are sort of complete opposites from each other, really, really well. And sort of what that tells you is that this is just a really solid, really versatile gun, and it's going to serve you well in almost any scenario, which is important for these starting weapons, which is what this is. It's the starting gun for the Russian team, right? And it's really important to make sure those guns, because people are going to be using them for a little while, are serviceable in a wide variety of scenarios. The RPK, no exception, and one of the better LMGs in my opinion, just because of how versatile it is. It's so good in so many scenarios, shooting dudes in the back there like a boss. Anyway, that's the end of this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Troubletcat out.